Okay, so it's been a hot minute since I posted anything, but honestly I just needed some time. I do have some things that I need to... Oh, welcome back. I do have some things I need to do today. So I have this piece of like Bristol that's just been sitting on my floor for like 3 or 4 days that I want to cut up and reuse. I recently helped one of my friends with like a wedding DIY project, and this is just like the leftover paper from it. I feel like there's no point in me throwing it out. I feel like it's just wasteful. I could probably use it for just making little paintings. So I was thinking I could cut the Bristol up into like little squares and gesso them and then oil paint on top of them. For other ones, I could probably just do like little gouache paintings or something. So that's what I'm gonna do. So today I just want to like prep those. I also have this piece of scrap paper that I want to cut up. I find it really useful to just find things, cut them up and put them in my sketchbook. It's just like a nice way to like fill space, or like if you don't like something, just cover it up with like a scrap piece of paper and then draw on top of that and just keep adding. You know, you don't like something in your sketchbook, find some paper, cover it up. I don't know what's up with today, but it's been like the loudest day ever. Like there's that. Anyway, I'm gonna get to cutting all my stuff up, doing that, maybe get to drawing. I don't know, we'll go from there. Let's do it. Okay, so I finished cutting my little boards. Sometimes I feel like I just clearly have certain sizes I really like to work with, because I didn't really plan, like when I was measuring these out, I wasn't like thinking like, oh, these are all gonna be like squares, but I made so many of them like square and like the same size pretty much. Did not mean to do that. Like these ones too, like I basically just did like 2/3 different sizes. Whatever, is what it is. Anyway, so our boards are cut out. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time gessoing a few of them. Before I do that, I just want to cut this little scrap piece of paper out and just throw it in my sketchbook. That way it's just done and I have it for whenever I need it. So I'm just gonna gab while I do that. Okay, so I kind of just wanted to talk about something that I saw on like Instagram the other day. This post someone made that was like, give your best artist advice. And I was like, okay, like, let's see what these people gotta say, because this girl needs advice. So I'm like reading all the comments, and there was like one comment that I just feel like really, I was like, oh, I need to be listening to this. And also every artist needs to be listening to this. So if you're an artist, please open up those ears. I can't remember the exact wording, but the gist of it was that your art should speak for itself. That being said, your art can't speak for itself if you don't show people your art. Like, you need to be constantly promoting it, because no one's going to obviously come into your apartment and be like, wow, let's put you in a show. And like, I know that, but I feel like sometimes I just need reminders of that, because I don't particularly think that I am like a bad artist. I think obviously there's like artists that are like way better than me. I don't think I'm like a bad artist though. I think I'm just horrible at like getting my work out there, because there's so many things that I do outside of posting on Instagram and going on TikTok and all of that stuff, and I just forget. And it's awesome to make art for the sake of making art, but at the same time I also feel like it's so fun and cool to make money off of your art. Anyway, if anyone's got tips, share them. Help a girl out, please. She's begging. I finished cutting my little strips here. Again, this is like super useful to do if you just need to cover something up that you hate and can't stand to look at, because if you're like me, you're gonna see something bad on your sketchbook and it's going to discourage you from working in your sketchbook. So cut some stuff out. Cover those things up that you don't like. I have been surprisingly great about working in my sketchbook lately, considering like I have not had a sketchbook in years. that's not even an over-exaggeration, like years. I'll start a sketchbook and then I'll just be like, it's not my problem anymore. I don't know this sketchbook. It's too ugly. That's just me being hard on myself. I understand that now. But anyway, I'm just happy that I've been able to keep up with that, because in the past I've just never been a sketchbook person. I've never been able to have a sketchbook and continuously do stuff in it, and I've been doing stuff in it. So I feel like really proud of that. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to gessoing some of my little boards here and show you that process. Alright, so it's a new day. I pretty much finished gessoing the boards, so they're all prepped, ready to go for when I want to use them to paint on. I kind of wanted to just like talk about my sketchbook and do like a little sketchbook tour, because I'm proud of it. And yeah, it's like a big step for me to like be drawing in it. So I just wanted to talk about some of the things I've been drawing and thinking about. So I started out this sketchbook basically just thinking like I could use it for studies and just getting better at drawing, because I don't really consider myself good at drawing, if I'm being honest. I consider myself a better painter. The first 3 pages is just hands. It's just me practicing how to do hands. These are all numbered because originally I wanted to do 50 hands. This took me 3 hours, by the way. I don't know why it took so long. I mean, I kind of know I do struggle with hands, just like every artist. But yeah, I felt like I actually was getting better, oddly enough, because I didn't think that I could get better that fast in just like 3 hours of drawing, but I felt like I was starting to kind of just understand how to draw hands better. Gave me this kind of motivation to continue on with like working in my sketchbook, because I was like, oh my god, I'm getting better. These 3 pages are just hands. I got up to number 23, 24. My hand was cramping so much I just couldn't even finish it. This page is basically like 2 photos weaved together. I saw this girl do this on TikTok and I thought that was so cool. I really like the process of sewing, weaving, combining things together. So I really liked the way that this turned out. I think it looks really cool. It was basically like a map with drawing of like a vase and flowers, and then I cut them up and then just weaved them together. The printer I was using to print this off of did not have any more red ink, which is why it turned out like yellow and stuff. I don't mind that at all. I really like yellow and blue together. It worked out. This other drawing I did is of Lucy, which is my dog, for those of you who don't know. This drawing, I was honestly just kind of experimenting with a little bit of a different style. I really like when people have work that's just like so rough and like kind of messy, but then it also looks like intentionally messy. I really struggle doing that, and I really want to get better at making my work be like intentionally messy, but I feel like it's so hard. And I kind of talked about that a lot in the past of like why that's challenging for me. I think that I am kind of just like a perfectionist, and I constantly need to just be like touching things until they're perfect and making sure like the brush stroke is the way I want it, and all of that cleaning up though, it kind of leads to a completely different style that's not messy. So it's challenging. I'm working on it. I also just wanted to experiment with putting different medias together. So I worked with gouache and then just a regular ballpoint pen on this one. I was also kind of just like inspired by like graphic design. I feel like graphic design is so cool, and I kind of wanted to incorporate like more elements of graphic design into my work. So that's why there's a little bit of writing on it. So like I have the date that I did it, and then in the corner I put like the issue, so like thinking of it like a magazine. And then I use pretty much just complementary colors, minus the black obviously, but just yellow, red, and blue. And yeah, I kind of like this one, even though it's like, it feels unfinished to me. I like the way that it turned out still. This one is a tomato. I was still experimenting again with making things like look really rough or like intentionally messy, and I was still combining gouache and pen together and just seeing what I could make out of that, trying to get like looser in my application. And then to the other side of it, I just have little shishiko stitching patterns because again, I love sewing and stitching and like putting things together. I feel like a sketchbook needs to be just like an amalgamation of all of the things that you're thinking about. Like it's like all of these different inspirations coming together to make your work unique. This page, I really did not like what I drew, so I covered it up, which is like my standard practice now. If I don't like something, it's getting covered up. But I had these little paint chips that I got at like a hardware store, and I just kind of combined these colors together just to like see different color palettes to work with. So yeah, I just kind of like put these colors together in a way that I felt was like pleasing to me and taped them into my book. This page, I was just practicing my eyes. Again, I was trying to get up to 50, but I only got to 38. It also took me a really long time to do this. I feel like I'm just so slow at drawing. Painting, I feel like I can like paint relatively quickly. Drawing, I don't know. I can't. I really like the way that all of these turned out. I like that they're all pretty much like the same size. It's just visually appealing to me. I don't know. I was honestly just practicing my eyes. So when eyes are like looking in different directions, like making sure that I had the form of it correct. That's this page. I love the way it turned out. I think it's cool. Good for me for getting to 38, honestly, because it was tough. This next page, honestly, just more practicing. Like, I was kind of focusing on the eyes a lot and then the hands as well. I feel like the hands didn't turn out as well as I wanted them to, but mind you, they're not bad either, so I can't like complain about it. One of my friends also gave me some stickers to put in my sketchbook, and I decided to kind of cover up the bottom of this drawing just because it was just, I felt like it just needed something else. It felt really empty at the bottom, and it feels like now more balanced to me. This page, I had like an actual drawing that I was like, oh, it's like not too bad, but then I wanted to experiment with like putting some gouache over top of it, and I was hoping that the gouache would be like a lot more translucent, but the way that I applied it was like really thick. I just messed up. It was my bad, but that's why this piece kind of turned out not so great in my opinion. Like there's moments of it I really like you can see like some of the red kind of poking through in this portrait, but I just wasn't super proud of like how opaque the paint was. But mind you, this is what sketchbooks are for. I feel like it's for making mistakes and then being like, shouldn't have done that. And then, you know, for next time. Now I know. The other page was honestly just like things, like notes I have, things I was thinking about. A painting I'm honestly still thinking about making. I've like started it, and that was like the shishiko kind of painting. So I was like using thread, and then I wanted to do oil painting on top of it. And then I had all these notes of like what the painting was about, like putting all of this meaning into my work while I was like working on it. Maybe one day we'll get back to that. This page is just random. Like I feel like I was just drawing to draw. I wasn't thinking too much. I do really like this apple in particular though. It's just like, I don't know, it was very effortless. I feel like I made it in less than 10 minutes and I was like, okay, it's done. This is what I was talking about, where it's like, it looks messy, but it also all comes together. And this was what I was trying to do with some of the other drawings and paintings, is like, I just like that like rough energy. I think it's cool. Really like that one. The rest are just little doodles. I just do little doodles sometimes. Next page is a drawing of my dog. I actually don't like this drawing of my dog. I just feel like I accidentally put her eyes too far apart and it makes her like look so weird. I don't love it, but then also I'm just like, it is what it is. It's in there now. I can't do anything about it, so there it is. I also not really loving that it's like right in the center of the page and like there's just all of this empty space around it. I think if I wanted to do more, then I could like do a bunch of other little drawings or even just like complete the actual drawing itself and put in a background. It's more just like in my mind it's done, so I'm not going to keep adding on to it, at least at this time. Other pages, just doodles continued. There was a point where I was just making my own magnets and I was like really into doing that, so I was like thinking about making these as magnets, which would still be really cute. I still might do it. But these are just my little magnet doodles. Next page, just like a full page spread, which I'm also pretty proud of. I just feel like I like the way it turned out. This page started getting me more comfortable with the pencil crayons I use now. It's called Posca, but Posca. Yeah, I really like these. Like you can get really like dark with them, and then they're also easy to blend, they're easy to draw over. Like I love these. I want to continue drawing with these. I definitely will be continuing to draw with these. I think they're so good, and the colors, like they're so vibrant. They're great. I really love these pencil crayons. If you guys are looking to buy some pencil crayons, I really recommend these. And yeah, honestly, this page I hadn't planned out a single thing on this page. I kind of just started drawing and then adding stuff. I feel like I've said this so many times before, but I really like flat patterns mixed with something that's more realistic. So for example, where I have like my tangerine and then just like some flat patterns in the background, I don't know, it does something to my brain. It looks so good to me. And yeah, I love the way this page turned out. Wasn't expecting anything from it, and sometimes that's the best. Next page is a portrait. I kind of wanted the background to kind of just feel there was like this energy to it, so I was just doing like a lot of scribbling in the background, and then I added some gouache as outlining the silhouette. Don't know if I like that part of it, but like again, it's done. I do like the way that the gouache kind of like separated from the pencil crayon on certain parts. I think that texture looks really cool, but I don't know if I like the way that the gouache looks. Like it just looks so a little bit like almost out of place in some points, but again, it's just my sketchbook, so there's no pressure. The way I said that, it sounded like there kind of was pressure. There isn't. Anyway, so this next page is just more doodles. I was just trying to experiment with adding like the wrong colors but the right value to things. For example, the egg, like there's a lot of blue in the egg, whereas like obviously there isn't blue in eggs. But I just wanted to see if I could add some like color that was wrong but make the correct value. I don't really like the way it turned out, but also I'm just like, it's okay. I was just trying to see if I could do it. That's the other thing, is like, if you don't try something, then you're never gonna learn how to do it. So I feel like you just gotta give it your best shot sometimes. So that's what I try and do in my sketchbook. I really like the way this lemon slice turned out. I think it's like, yeah, it just looks really cute. It looks really realistic to me. Yeah, I like that I kind of went with like black and yellow, even though I really don't normally like those color combinations together. This is another little drawing that I did full page. I don't love the way it turned out, but the only things that I kind of don't really love about it is that like I made the orange lines way too intense on it, and I wish that I would have just like chilled a little bit with that. But I started with the orange lines before I had anything else in this drawing done. I started with the orange lines, and they were thick, and like I didn't even know what I was doing on this page. I just knew I wanted them there. Whatever, we live, we learn. I do like the color choices that I made in this. I like all of the little details, like there's little bugs and like there's a little snail. I feel like it looks really cute. I love the way I did the flowers. The only thing that, yeah, like I'm not a fan of is the orange, but it's okay. It's okay. This is another portrait that I did. I was honestly just like really enjoying the pencil crayons, and I was just like, I want to do so many drawings with these pencil crayons. I feel like the colors are good. I feel like I could have done a better job with the colors. I feel like brown, blue, and red. Very interesting choices, but I don't mind it. It's fine, it's a drawing, you know? And it also did not take me too long to do it. I think I did it in maybe like 2 hours or something, which maybe that is a long time, but for me, doing a portrait, it's like not too bad. This next page, who knows what's going on? In my mind, it's still not done. And I was genuinely having a bad drawing day. But I don't like to be too hard on myself when it comes to my art anymore. I just think that like some days are better drawing days than others. So that day just wasn't my best, and it is what it is. Some things I do like about it is like I added some little pen details in it. It's mostly pencil crayon though. And then, like I was saying, I had those blue strips that I was cutting out the other day that I stuck in here. And I just find things like that, they really come in handy. If I really don't like this page, I can always cover it up with something else. Also, I was just drawing this rabbit in the center of it, and it ended up looking like a rat. But then it wasn't looking enough like a rat for people to know that that's what it was. It was an ambiguous rabbit thing. I was like, I can't deal with this, which is why there's a sticker on top of it. This other page, I started drawing a lion and then I just stopped. There was no rhyme or reason. I was just like, I think I'm done with this. So there's just a random lion there. And then this page, I actually think that this is the weakest page out of my sketchbook. I started with the composition, so the different little like rectangle squares, and then I started adding little drawings inside of the squares. And I wanted it to be like a nature theme or like a cottage theme. I think that, yeah, like I've just done way stronger drawings and it needs more, but also like it's done. So it is what it is. And yeah, that's the last page of my sketchbook. And that's also going to be the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.